This microphone, I can't be fooling with it all night. This is such a bad visual.
Gotta hold it up,
It's such a bad visual.
What could you do?
Howdy.
Hello.
What's going on, GQ? We got 30 seconds.
That's how we at. Hey, I'm
You
smooth
doing
in.
okay?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
You next to me?
Oh yeah. Nice you want me not to be next.
Come on. Okay, so this whole... Are we done with that yet, or...
They're not
still-
doing it no more. They was like, we need to find a faster way to raise money. So they said, that's why I ain't been down here, thankfully. We got 11 seconds. They was like, we not doing it. We need a faster way to make myself okay.
Okay.
You want to see it?
Yeah, I can.
Come on.
I was gonna roll in front of this
Oh,
microphone.
okay.
I see it.
Good evening. You guys are listening to WRUULP Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. You guys know what time it is. It is 8 o'clock on a Friday night, so that means you have tuned in to Let's See Who My Friends Are. You guys know that this is an opportunity every Friday night for us to meet somebody in the community, have that person come in and tell us about themselves, hang out and chit chat and do it the Let's See Who My Friends Are way, right? So tonight we have a new friend here with us.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, we have Miss Brandy Benson. You know, it's like a tongue twister.
Is it Brandy Benson? I can say it like 15 times in a row. Maybe, I don't know. Do I say... I would say, do I say B words a lot? But never mind, I'm not actually doing that. Like, do I say B words?
Talking about B words. We already started with the crazy.
Exactly. I'm just saying, it's
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So tonight we have Miss Brandy Benson here in the station with us. She is our guest. We'll be talking about her. I was talking to her a little bit early and we couldn't shut up. So we might not need you two here tonight. So
that's why I mean,
just
co means just we just
No,
in
okay.
case something happens.
and
We
I'm
just
subsidiary. I'm not even co-host.
you know you just hanging.
I'm just over here.
Gotcha. But of course we have here. Well, I didn't even say who I am. I'm your host. See, I'm so excited to get to talk, and I'm your
Yeah.
host here, Ray Carr, the Fit Hypnotist. I always say, if you hear about another one, they are an imposer, because I'm the original.
Okay.
Also here in the station with us, we have my co-host.
This is your ear candy, your social voice of radio, GQ Smooth.
God. on subsidiary, we have over there.
Carmack.
Carmack is here. Yes, the subsidiary. I'm not co-host, not host.
He will just be a voice
Yeah,
of reason in the middle of this conversation.
Well, we got one
Like to be
person missing.
reasonable.
We gonna have a decent time tonight.
Decent sounds good.
The fighting word. She's here watching, and we'll have comments and questions.
Ain't she at work? Ain't she at work? We gonna leave that alone.
No, she here just for you. But
Ain't she at work, I know she.
Oh,
Don't lose my head. Don't lose my head.
anymore. No. But we are here hanging out tonight. How we always start the show. You know, it's Friday night. We always got to ask the question, how was your week? And how will your weekend be? Brandy, you're our guest, so absolutely let us know.
All right. My week went by very, very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, went by really fast. I feel like the end of the year is approaching
Yes.
really
Mhm.
fast. So I'm trying to get all these goals and things, finished up within the next couple of months.
Yeah.
So I'm a little slammed right now, but nonetheless, everything's going good. I think my weekend's going to be all right.
Good.
It's the weekend,
It's-
so
Yay.
it's Friday.
It's the weekend, baby.
Friday.
Apparently, I'm ready for it too. I'm here like I'm a chill. Let me calm down.
Right? It's Friday.
You
so
ready?
I want to go see some movies. I haven't been out in a while. I heard about the movie Hustler.
Ooh,
Is
I
it
gotta
good?
see
I
that.
haven't
He
seen it.
went
And
to
then I
see
heard
it.
about the Gemini Man. With Will
Okay.
Smith.
But,
I think
Yeah.
I'm going to the movies by myself
And that was
tonight.
filmed here. Gemini Man was filmed in Savannah.
Was it?
Yes.
yeah, good
Well, I
stuff.
just might go
I
see
Yeah,
haven't
that.
seen
he'll know
that
more
one.
than I will. I don't know where stuff filmed at.
Wow.
I know
Yeah,
where radio broadcasts take place at.
Right.
Well, you got to. You have to.
Yeah.
Carmack, how was your week?
You know what? Overall, I'll admit, aside from my sinuses like slapping me 2
Mm.
ways to lift, like on Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
I had a pretty good week.
Good.
I just stayed on top of things at work and other personal things, and it was good. And similar, I don't know if I'm doing the movies,
No.
but if I can at least get one beach excursion. But if
Oh.
not, I'll just be happy. I think I'm going to walk downtown by the river. I'm good. I had a great week. Ready? As y'all saw me chill, like it's the weekend. Yes, I am
Yeah.
glad though.
Yeah,
I am
me too,
glad.
me
It's
too.
the weekend.
Me too.
Exactly.
And
You already- you already
we
know
already know it's
Exactly.
therapy time. We need to put on some slow music and
Nah.
something. You need to kick your legs up.
It's not about do it. No.
I love it.
How was your week, dear?
It's been don't talk, don't as a good song goes by. Phil Beach goes, don't talk, don't speak. It's been a long week.
That all rhymes.
It's been a long week.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's been a long week, but it's been good. I'm counting it all joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's finally Friday. I don't have to go to work tomorrow or the day after that.
Yeah.
With that job,
That's it.
anyway. So,
That job, that part.
I mean, it's
You're here,
yeah, I'm here.
and we appreciate you.
If I'm in need of a car, so if anyone's selling a car right now,
Oh gosh.
finance free, please let me know.
Gotcha.
I can pay $2 a day. And $2 a day, I'll be you $2 a day. At least I make sure I pay that.
That goes along.
Uh
with it.
huh.
Exactly.
So tell the folks, they got your
That's only
specs
$60.
and
I know,
um,
right? I did the
That's
math.
not
But like,
That's not enough.
It's gonna get you a tank of
you
gas,
find
some
one of
bread,
those,
you
get
know,
two,
some
because
bread at the grocery store.
That's not enough.
Or if not, you get $1 pizza. I don't like processed foods like that no more. But you get $1 pizza at Kroger for $1. Like somebody- I'm just saying. Ask me how I know. I used to. I still might go get me $1. Or you get you a pack of some noodles.
Noodles.
Yeah, you know.
$1.49 for
ramen
like
has
6.
got me through a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and now they have the value pack.
Oh, do they?
We know-
Yeah,
Hey,
they
man,
do.
you can do a
It's
sword
either
and
chicken or
flavors.
beef,
Yeah.
but
Thank you. Yep.
They been had it. You saw it now they got that. I thought they been had it.
No.
yeah, the like a 10-pack.
Yeah, they been had those.
Okay, so what
I
you
mean,
talking
had
about?
less.
$1 at a time. Play, just
I'm
get you
just
a
saying,
10.
exactly.
See, we're not doing
I'm
this.
just- I'm
See,
just saying,
that's
I'm
what
just
happened.
I mean, I didn't got them.
This
no
is
more,
what
so-
you do with her. She is not here. Ayana's not here tonight. We're
saying,
not going down
I'm-
the Yellow Brick Road.
That y'all want to go there with me? I'm just smiling in my lane. But the weekend will be great. I mean, I might go to a beach excursion tonight. Thankfully, people on the radio, I'm gonna tell on myself. People on the radio can't see what you got on. I was like, I just went and put on my shorts before now and freshen up to go to the beach after I leave here.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you kind of hit like, wait a minute, he had that on a few minutes ago. I know you checked that. That's what ladies do. But I also check, your hair grow back really fast.
What?
I'm sorry. I was like, that's how now you got a little hair. That's like.
Wait a minute.
That's not a bad thing. I'm saying. I was like, I notice things about you when you change. So you can't come in and be like,
What is happening?
something happened. I know when stuff changes about ladies in my life, but like that. Ooh, bam, boom.
Ooh.
Anyway, it's about Miss Brandon now. I'm just adding up.
What is going on tonight? We only have an hour
Is it the
show.
full moon?
Yeah,
It's
it's
the full moon.
Yeah,
That's
beautiful
what
one
it
too,
is.
yes.
It is
Yes, there you
gorgeous
go,
out
yeah.
there. And I usually call the moon my moon. So, yeah.
Oh, you
We're gonna
selfish.
have to fight then.
Exactly. I was like, no.
All right, it talked to me. I don't know what it
talked
said.
to me too.
See, we would.
How was your week? Let me
It's like it's on you now.
My week was pretty awesome. I met some awesome people this week as usual. Did some good work, and I'm excited for the weekend to rest.
Okay, because you've been going. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying you get to stay.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that is true. I've been going. This weekend is going to be about rest because I plan on be going again next week.
Hey.
So, I'm always doing something or going someplace. So, I'm preparing for the next journey. So,
I hear you.
yes. It's Friday night. Let's
Yeah.
let's get into what we are here for.
Yeah.
Which is talking to Miss Brandy. Randy, I really appreciate you coming in and sitting and chatting with us today. I've got your bio and all of those things, and some of the places that you have gone, some of the places that you've been featured and things like that is amazing. So thank you so very much for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And kind of blessing us, from what I've read so far, your story is amazing. So I definitely want to, introduce you to our fans, and
Hi guys.
yes, and have you become definitely one of the friends here, I already can say this. You've already been here, so feel free to come back.
Yes,
let
me
we've
know.
already.
Let me know. I'm always
you
bugging
know.
people. I'm like, hey, you said I can come back, right?
Come
Okay.
on,
So when we
exactly.
scheduling it, okay. All right, got it.
Exactly, and you don't even have to schedule.
See, I just show up
come,
now.
they just show
Oh,
up.
that's
That's
how-
how. At some point, we're gonna have like
I'm
in
gonna be
here about
self-invited.
30 people in
They
here.
just,
fighting
Yeah.
for
I just show up. I'm like, no, they don't know I'm coming. Sometime I just be here.
I
So
love it.
Yes.
Okay.
So since you've been here, please feel free, because I have a feeling that we're not going to hear all of it tonight.
You might
know,
not. I have a long story.
Yes. So,
Oh, I'm doing it.
well, first and foremost, I want to ask, because this is my first time meeting you in person, and so what I usually ask people is like, who are you? Who would other people say you are in the community?
Who am I in the community?
Yes.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I know who I am. I don't know what other people think about me.
Good,
Yeah.
good,
Okay,
good.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, we need to know what you think
I know
yourself.
what I know about myself. I don't know
Yeah.
what the streets say. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, we don't care about
You gotta
them.
ask.
Well, I mean, I was gonna put my 2 cents in, but
you
it meant about my 2 cents.
Yeah, you
How
can tell me
feel
what
about you?
okay, about me.
Yeah.
Tell me
So
what the streets.
I don't know what the streets are saying. I mean, what I know about myself. So, I'm a cancer survivor. I was in the military. I'm an author. Wrote a book. I went to SCAD. Got my master's. After I got out of the military, I went to SCAD. I worked for the Corps of Engineers for a small time. I think it was like almost a year. I opened up my own business called Resume Advantage. And then a little bit after that, I ended up publishing my book, The Enemy Inside Me. And then I've been doing a lot of promotions for that, and this is where I met this cool guy here.
Yeah.
I bother him all the time and make him videotape whatever I'm having or doing, all the time. All the time. I'm like, you gonna be there? Let's videotape me a little bit. Anyway, so, I'm very down to earth. I'd really like to help people. I'm super passionate about putting people in the best for work-wise with the resumes and stuff, and helping them discover their skill sets and putting them in the best light so they can sell themselves and have the job that they want to have. And a lot of people don't know the art of selling themselves, or even writing a resume in general. There's a method to the madness with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know how to do that, but I like to help them, fine-tune that and get them the job that they want. A lot of people don't know that they can have that position or that job if they can just reword it or rephrase things or speak on other things that highlight that position. You're in there. You can get the interview and hopefully sell yourself enough and get the job.
Absolutely.
So,
So
that's me.
these two know you
Yes.
to an extent, right?
Yeah.
So
What do the streets say?
yeah,
What do they
so
say? I gotta know.
they'll be representing the streets tonight. So
oh
Right?
Well, they
I
had
mean,
that
because
never
you
had that
guys-
before.
because you guys have seen her in action and have some reference, of who she is. So.
Right.
I absolutely trust your opinions, other than the quote unquote streets. So you guys,
I'm gonna start off because
Yes.
mine is real brief-ish.
Okay. Wish I had a booster seat. I can't see you.
Oh, I sit up a little bit. There we go.
I need to hear this now.
I think the first time, and it's crazy.
Uh-oh.
The first time I saw you, I didn't know, but I was at an event that the senior citizens was hosting out in Pooler or Garden City. I think this is the first time I saw you and and I said hey or whatever, and you were there, and I'm not gonna. I was just like, this is a beautiful woman. Who is this?
Yes!
I was like, who is this? Then of course my brother knows everybody.
You do not. No.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
And I was like, and I don't know I didn't tell you, but I was like, yeah, there was a couple people there, and we, Corey, I knew him, and he was like, I was like, yeah, Corey was talking to a lady, she was, you know, long hair, beautiful lady, you know, whatever. He was like, okay, Brandy. I was like, I think that's her name. I didn't catch her name, but I think that's what her sticker said. We just said, hey, casually, like, how you doing, whatever.
Hilarious.
And then he told me your story, and I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been seeing you other places since then. I'm kind of like, okay, she does what she says she does. And
Yeah.
of course, if he says this is what that,
Yay.
and then I was just saying, and then other people was like, I want Brandon to come do what such and such and such. So I knew that you had a resume thing going on at Savannah State. Not so long ago, I was like,
Yeah.
so other people know Brandon. That's what I'm talking about. I was like, they know her.
Yeah.
And then I saw on her Facebook her story and everything else because he was like, she's a cancer spy. I was like, okay, really? How does that work? But that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, how does
He
that
was
work?
like,
Yeah.
and he was like, well, you know, it was, if you don't mind me telling this to begin. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what it was. Like, it was a certain part that most people don't really think it is. And he was like, well, I can't bring her the picture right now because I don't know if she wanted to be exposed right now because the story goes out the video. I was like, okay, fine, you know, just let me know.
Oh,
And he was like, well, she's still a strong. And I was like, all I saw was confidence, and I didn't think nothing else about it except confidence. She walked in, you held your head up high, you smiled, you spoke, you did what you did. If something wasn't right, you tried like, hey, look, I need you to get this. You was in the nicest, polite way. It was like, come on, get this together. Y'all know better than this. Come on, now you got to.
Wow.
Because again, it was that point of you're selling yourself, so
Yeah.
you want people to know you and bring you money
Right,
and do
right.
it.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
salespeople try to sell themselves to get money. So you kind of like, if you were selling yourself, promoting yourself, you put yourself out. It's like, look, this is what you need to do.
Right.
And I didn't know you were a resume builder at the time until I saw the thing at Savannah. So I was like, okay, great. I knew you had wrote a book. I was like, okay, great. Haven't read the book yet, but I was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
So my experience was like, this lady's about her business. She wants other people to be about their business. Other people said she's about her business. Okay. All I see her is with business people that try to get their business together. So I know what a couple. Then he was like, she's gonna be on the show this week. I said, oh, she's about her business. So I'm
Like, I know her.
I know her. I was like, I will be there.
Hilarious.
And then my brother said, oh, Brandon, I will be there too. I said, well, come on. I'm pretty sure we all be happy there.
Okay, good. I love it.
Stuff. Good.
Now your turn.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
I'm
have
gonna try
it.
to like keep my concise because I've known you for a while now. And
Yeah.
but I guess I'll start off like this. I've had the fortune of working with some people. I've had the misfortune of working with some people that I've learned from. And you've been definitely one of the blessings that's been a strong fortune.
He's
And
doing so
the
good,
reason
y'all.
I say that, no, I mean, you don't meet too many people who, and it's really funny for all the stuff that you have that you could be, you could act different about. You're still very humble. You're still very respectful. You're still very willing to give and do service, and make sure you do it well. I think I forgot what the video I did first a while back, and then you said, well, you know, for like I'll do your resume. I'm talking. Though she is a miracle herself, is about talking about working a miracle on a resume. And so then I started showing my students, and they was like, "Who did your resume?" And anybody, so I'm like, "This is who. Here's her card. Take it." And when I ran out of cards, I was like, "Here's her website. Contact her." I've been, and so it's really been that putting her in touch with people that I know would benefit from her services, and you know, helping her
Yeah.
business, helping her grow and build. But then, on the other thing, I've had the fortune of watching. This is a little. She is enormously shy. I remember when she first started doing interviews and stuff, Brandy used to tell me, like, hey, can I tell this part?
Okay,
That she
can I
is
tell this part? You
terrible.
already told me.
Yeah, that she is. I was like, are you for real? Like, you're doing fine. She did not, like, but she knew she had to become comfortable with doing it
Yeah.
because.
So I was like, I got better.
She's got,
Okay.
yeah, so it's been a real fortune to watch her grow and blossom as far as speaking to people and engaging. Because when she's one-on-one, she's more personal. It's like she connect. But when she's in front of people, it's like, ooh, there's a group. But so it's been a very exciting journey to watch that, and I'm happy to see that your story's getting out there. People are learning more about you, more about what you've overcame, and as well as like, while you know all that, here are my other services and resources that I have too.
Yes.
Sneak me in there.
You, yeah, I mean, literally, people look at my website now, see my resume, and they're like, "Oh God, you have a nice resume." I'm like, so like a very well-rounded embodied. I mean, I got this, and I like I said, 'cause I got to spend time with your family some when we shot some of the stuff for.
You know that video It was on CBS in Austin. Did I
Yeah.
show you? They
Yeah.
loved it.
Okay.
I
Oh,
got so many compliments on it.
oh, I might have to move to Austin. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But that's
They
good.
loved it. I was like,
Oh,
they
yeah.
really liked
And
it.
I had a lot. Like, that was one of the best projects I think I've ever done in my life. And
We got
think
some more
just
coming
because-
up.
Cool.
Good
So-
stuff.
Good
Good
stuff.
So that's the best. I
stuff.
could try to keep it short, so I want to take the time that we want to get to hear more from you and your. But yeah, so that's where I stand. And if I might give one terminology from the street, and how do I keep this without giving away? Let's just say when you did your resume workshop on campus,
Mhm.
one or two people might have felt some type of way, and not because you were there doing it, but because you were doing something that they weren't doing, and you're around the same age as them. I'm gonna leave that in that vague
Whoa,
term.
whoa.
See,
when-
you know what I'm talking
the
about,
thing
but I'm
is,
going
there's
to
a
be-
thing called balance, right?
Yeah, right.
So when the streets are talking good stuff,
Yeah, but
there's
you-
always somebody on the other
Other
side trying to talk bad stuff,
Exactly.
right?
So-
Or you know, so that you don't pay attention to that. We
Yeah, I
stay.
probably shouldn't have said that, but it's
No,
out there.
No, no, no,
no.
But it's
No,
out
it-
there.
it is what it
I
is.
heard this one thing: if you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right, right?
You
But I did. I don't know if
Exactly.
that's true.
Two in the room. That's what I heard. Is that we'll leave that? That was
Like,
all.
Darn.
Yeah,
Oh,
and,
dang, I said it in the room.
I know who they are. I'm just
Shade.
kidding.
Let me stop. No, but
I'm just kidding.
reality facts. But no.
No, it's all good. It's okay. But I'll be in Savannah State on the 17th,
yeah.
talking to.
And this is the thing, I feel
Right.
like when you are recognizing your haters, you know, the fact that you say, I don't know what the streets are saying about me is amazing, because that means you're flying above all of that's going on and staying on your mission. And
Just
it
just kidding.
happens that way
No, I
sometimes.
really don't
Yeah,
go
I can
anywhere doing
isolate you,
anything.
but
Yeah. But we keep saying, you know, that you are a cancer survivor.
Mhm.
When were you diagnosed with cancer?
It was 2009, and it was Ewing sarcoma cancer,
Mhm.
which is usually it starts in the bone, but it didn't metastasize to the bone quite yet, because I discovered it in the stage that was called 1B, which is like really, really early. But when I found it, it was like the size of like a big orange in my groin area in my leg.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I found it, I saw this like really large lump protruding on my leg, and I didn't think anything of it because I'm 24. I'm in like the best shape of my life.
Let's
And-
talk about that though, because when you did discover this, you were active duty in
I
the
was active
military.
duty. I was in the military, and I was deployed in Iraq.
Oh wow! How long were you in the military at this point?
I was maybe like 8 months.
Oh wow!
I had just got in, so I had just gone to my first duty station. I was there for 1 month and 9 days, and I got shipped to Iraq. So I'm in Iraq, we're getting mortared and bombed, and like just the craziest, most scary experience you can think of. And I'm in the middle of the war, and I'm thinking to myself, this is what you get. This is what you asked for.
Yeah.
You want your student loans paid off, and now I'm in the middle of a war, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I can't believe. So I was really stressed out a lot, and it was just extremely scary. But to that point of being deployed, I was there for like 4.5 months only, and then that's when the cancer came.
Oh wow!
It
And
was
that's when
really
you
fast.
discovered it. If I could ask, how did you? Was it just you saw a lump, you felt a lump? How did that?
I was working out one day, and I was stretching, and I was pulling my knee up to my chest, and I was at shorts on, PT shorts, and I could see like a lump in my leg.
Mhm.
So I've like grabbed it, touched it, trying to move it around, and nothing happened. So I waited another week,
Mhm.
and then I went back to the medics, and they were like, something's wrong. They didn't say anything was wrong, but they knew, of course, something was wrong. So they sent me to Baghdad, and then from Baghdad to Germany, and Germany to Walter Reed. But it was just a crazy experience.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to tell me anything. So they just kind of, and then I was like, I'm only 24, and I think I'm invincible, and nothing's going to happen to me. So I'm not one time did I think it was cancer. I thought it was like a pulled muscle or something.
Right.
Like, strangest things. Why would it be a pulled muscle? I pulled many of those in my life playing sports, but
Yeah.
I would have never thought it was cancer.
Yeah.
Ever. I was in the best shape. I had
Yeah.
6-pack. I was like in shape. Running miles quick. I was just like in the best shape of my life. But that probably also helped save me too, because I had so much treatment. I did 17 cycles in 1 year, which is like unheard of.
Wow.
Which I think I did 108 times of chemotherapy in 1 year. By the time I was finished with it, I was being pushed in a wheelchair. I could barely sign my signature because I was so weak I couldn't hold a pen in my hand.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Wow.
I'm sorry. What's the cause? Do they know the cause
No,
of it?
they don't even know what the cause is. But I did hear this. I had a lawyer. I don't even know if I should say this, but a lawyer contacted me like 2 months ago, and asked me if I was aware of this contaminated water at Fort Carson, and this water got a whole bunch of people sick, and was I aware of this, and lots of people got cancer, some of them passed away, and there's some company that was, I don't know, doing something with the water illegally. I think they were like disposing stuff into the water, and it got a bunch of people sick in Fort Carson in Colorado Springs. And I was like, oh, maybe it's that. Who knows? I don't know what it was, but
the thing, I think, the thing about the military that people don't typically kind of realize is that a lot of times, because they look at soldiers like, you are healthy, you are in good shape, we're out there running you every day all over the place and doing all of those things, they typically don't look at you the same way as if you go to a doctor's office and, they look at you as a typical, person. They say, oh, you're healthy, you're strong. Or we even kind of think about ourselves as that way, healthy and strong, and tend to kind of not look deeply into, what's going on with our bodies. But I could imagine that, finding out, at such a young age, feeling in such good shape, and then also scared of one thing, enemy out there.
Yes.
So hence the name,
Yes.
Of your book. I could only imagine, not just the physical toll that takes on you, but also the mental toll that takes on you. So tell us a little bit about, kind of the range of emotions that you experience.
So being deployed, period, is extremely scary, right? Because you're in the middle of a war zone. Well, if you're at a bad area, and I was in a very bad area where we got mortared all the time, and just so that in itself was extremely scary. And sometimes I don't remember what it's called. There was like a sensing system. I forgot what it was called, but sometimes it wouldn't go off, and the bomb would land, and then it would finally go off. So we were just like didn't know where we're going to get hit, if it's going to work or not. But so we had just small little issues with that. And then when I left Iraq and I went to Germany, I felt a sense of relief. I was like, oh, thank God that I'm not having to stress every day, think that we're going to get bombed or something's going to happen, or there's going to be people coming on the military or on our installation and trying to do something crazy. But then I find out that I have cancer. I'm like, what? How is this even possible? So I was in denial for a long time, because the cancer that I had it's a Caucasian cancer for little boys.
Wow.
Right? And I'm like, I'm black, I'm a woman, and I'm not a little kid. So I'm like, last time I checked, I was none of those three. So getting sick with it was like, I didn't believe it. I was in denial and I thought they had the wrong person for like a really long time. But then the cancer kept growing and growing and growing and growing. I was like, okay, this is probably, I guess I have cancer. And then they didn't want to give me the chemotherapy for a while, because they have to determine exactly what type of cancer it is. So by the time I'm getting my treatment, I'm begging them, like, please, just give it to me. They're not even sure if it's going to work. They're not even sure if it's going to respond. They were saying they were going to have to cut my leg off at my hip up here.
Wow.
I was like, this is just, and then life is just going, it's just going, it's just going. And I'm like, I'm just on this roller coaster ride, and I'm riding it, but everything's passing by so fast. It's like, what's going on? And it's like everything was going so quick and so fast, and then the cancer was so aggressive and rare that nobody knew what to tell me. They didn't know what to do, because the regiment, they didn't know if it was going to work or not. They didn't know what was going to happen, so they put me on like a trial. So I don't even know if it's going to work or not, or if it's going to respond. And it's just like everything's just going so fast. I didn't really have time to like register stuff, except for, I think I'm going to die.
Right.
It was so fast.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do.
Wow.
At all.
And I'm going to ask this only because, and I hate that it happened on military bases and things, and they treat you all like which I figured they probably do. It's like, oh, you're a soldier, you're supposed to be whatever. Or they think because you're young, you're supposed to be, this can't happen because you're young. Was the medical facilities totally different there than they were here? Like, were medicines, because were they trying not to treat you because you were overseas, or were
No, they were trying to get me out fast.
Okay.
Right, and then me, because I don't think anything's wrong with me.
Mm.
And then when you're overseas, my entire thought process then was like make as much money as I can.
Right.
And I'm like, I want to stay deployed because tax free, your money doubles or triples or whatever it is, you get paid money. And I'm like, if I go back, I'm not gonna get my money. And I'm like, I'm trying to make my rank and all this and that. And they're like, no, you need to something's wrong with you. You got to go to the doctors. You got to go somewhere where there's a larger facility. And then I find out slowly the doctors or the hospitals that they're taking me to are leading to like the cancer wards and the cancer areas where they specialize in, because they didn't even want to tell me it was cancer.
Yes.
They just
kind of sending you to the wards without even
not the wards, but
the
like
cancer area. But you didn't know.
I didn't
you
know.
just saw the stuff when you got there.
Yeah, I didn't
wow.
know anything because they can't diagnose me until they know for sure.
Yeah.
So when I had this lump in my leg, I didn't know it was a tumor, and then finally get from I should have known. I just was so naive,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know anybody who had a tumor. Really
Yeah.
didn't even know what a tumor was.
Exactly.
Right.
That is true, yeah.
I really did. I'm like, what? That never played in my mind. But so when I'm at Baghdad, they take a CT scan up and they say, hey, there's blood coming in and blood coming out. They never said it was a tumor. I'm like, okay. Then they send me to Germany. Germany's like, okay, well, it's a tumor. So I'm like, okay, now I know I have a tumor. What kind is it? Is it cancer? Is it not? So then they're like, all right, well, it could be this type of tumor or it could be that. So then they do the biopsy. Then I find out that it's this kind of tumor, that this kind of tumor is cancer, but they didn't tell me what kind of cancer it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then they misdiagnosed me on accident. Not really, I don't think so. I think they were just trying to like help me out, because the cancer I did have was really bad on paper.
Yeah.
And I probably would have freaked out and even been worse. So then they send me from Germany to Walter Reed. Walter Reed tells me it's the bad cancer. And then that's when everything's going really fast. And I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm on medication because I'm thinking like, I just want to kill myself. Like, I'm lost. Like, what is going on? I just felt a sense of hopelessness and like I had no control.
Yeah.
Because I'm so, like, I'm really, I'm neat, I'm clean, I'm in the military, things are like organized, it goes, everything's structured, and now I have cancer, and what do I do,
Yeah.
I have no control.
And we're going to take a quick break. Sorry we have to do that. It's like, dang, it's halfway there. No, it's not. We're halfway there already. When we come back, we're going to talk about how long it took for you to reach that point. Definitely talk about your book and your resume service and everything else. So we're going to take this break after we get through talking about this. But I guess we're going to get into it before we get the messages up.
Yeah.
How long did it take before they finally actually told you what it was? Because the way you were describing, it's kind of like it took way so long. Was it quick or was it like...
It was like 3 weeks.
Dang.
It was fast. It was quick. But
I know that dread. Yeah, that felt like a long. The way you describe, I mean, that's a. But you can be.
It seemed long.
Because it was you said you were 24 at the time.
So
I know at 24. I'm just gonna throw that. At 25, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
What?
Yeah, nobody ever. There we go. Bam. And so it took. Even though it took 3 weeks for I got diagnosed, went to the hospital, everything else. They was like, well, we have to run the test and everything else. But that 4 weeks looked like it took forever to get there. And then once it still gets there, it still sounds like it takes forever for anything to happen. So I know in your mind, I was saying things like, dang, we got similar. So I didn't realize how much in common we have this disease. But it's your, I'm going to ask this question, we're going to this way. It's your, I guess it's curable because you're here now.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a curable cancer.
Yeah.
Interesting, because my disease it was for white women. In the age of 40, I'm kind of like, well, listen to my voice. I know I'm different. I mean, I look down, and I'm like,
listen to my voice.
I look down like that, but I definitely ain't no woman. And I'm like, I looked at my skin, I was like, much light skin I might think I am. People told me, I definitely know I ain't white.
Right.
So it's kind of strange. But I'm glad we're here. And we're going to talk about how you met and got her to come down here today, too, after this break, because you didn't say all that. You was like, well, how we know her? How'd you even get her to come to the show? But we'll talk about it after the break. We're going to take this break. This is Let's See Who My Friends Are. We'll be back in a few seconds, y'all.
Crazy. Didn't know that. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You got any secrets?
No.
You didn't have it up there.
Nothing.
I see that. You was like, he goes like, I see
I
that
thought
now.
we were doing
I know. I was like, what
And what's
the
that? Like, you
Thank
ain't
you.
never be a part of the players producer. They stop it after a certain time.
Damn,
Oh.
well, be
Oh, yeah.
happy. That's
Good with
good.
that.
Yeah, well,
It's just
You know,
another.
just be healthy and
We'll do
work
this.
out and all that.
but even
Clipboard it. Oh.
I have I had.
It's
well,
just
this
10
is a tumor
seconds,
I had
y'all.
removed here.
I don't know if they still want us to do the
I had
donation
three
thing or
tumors
not.
removed.
I don't know.
This was
I
the
didn't.
first one.
It's
and
got
had,
prayers break,
another
prayers
one.
break, prayers.
So I've been
pledge-
fortunate
I
that
said
I haven't
prayers.
been cancer, but even at, like
Okay, so
especially this
that's
first
it.
one, and it was funny.
All right.
Okay, you guys, welcome back. You just heard our commercials on.
Oh, yeah.
But welcome back. You're listening to WRUU LP Savannah, Georgia 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with Global Soul. Yes, you've been listening to Let's See Who My Friends Are. We kind of reached our halfway point, so we had a little bit of a break. We're in here just, discussing and talking with Brandy, and so far it's been an awesome discussion, and we are hearing some good information, from her about how it is you discovered, and some of that treatment process that that came along with your cancer diagnosis eventually, once they gave it to you. But after that, what was your you said you were in treatment for how long? For
9 months.
For 9 months.
Mhm.
Wow.
It was seems fast, but going through it was just terrible.
Yeah.
I hate the joke. Ask a pregnant lady that she would tell you it's not. I'm just saying 9 months. Like, care about. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that. You said 9 months. Like, dang, you can have a baby.
I had a baby by then. Ain't
Yeah.
no babies here.
So you're an author,
Mhm.
and as we were talking before, your book is about. Well, you tell us what your
Yes.
book is about,
about
and what inspires you.
Being
to write.
deployed in Iraq and coming back with a rare and aggressive cancer, Ewing sarcoma cancer. It's about my story, how I discovered it, the people that were around at the time. I originally wrote a journal, and the journal then became a book. And the journals were for my nephew at the time because everybody thought I was going to die and pass away. And I was really upset about it, and I wanted to leave something for him in the event that I did pass away. So at least he would know our interactions, what's going on, and what he's doing, what I'm doing. So I started out as journals, and then I figured out, well, it looks like the doctors were wrong, and I'm going to live. So
Right.
I was like, if I get to live, I'm going to promise myself I'll make it a book. So then I crafted it up and, made it a book a couple years later. But yeah, so it's just my story about perseverance and pushing through and not giving up on yourself.
Yeah.
And the title of it, I love it. The Enemy Inside.
You know what? I just can't. Okay, the original title of what it was so ridiculous. I don't even know. I thought of it like one morning when I was on treatment, like out of my mind, because whatever. Didn't even match what it was, but I kept putting it down, like, oh, this is what it's going to be. And then when I have to make it my thesis, because I use it as my thesis at SCAD, I'm thinking, okay, this title has to match, what the story's about. So I was like, okay. I was like, all right, the enemy inside me.
Right.
And everybody was like, yeah, that's good, that's good.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
Hey, I was like,
That's
can't see like that. I mean,
absolutely.
that's how
Yeah.
that's how art works. It's kind of like you just sit there long enough. You think it's one thing, next thing you know, boom.
Yeah, it's something
Don't
else.
know.
Inspiration.
It's
hits.
something trying to kill me, an enemy inside me. So I was like, that's what it would be.
So after, go ahead.
No, this is briefly, if you can explain, I guess because I got to interview you, so I kind of know this part. But talk about even from the mental aspect of surviving like that as an enemy or as a demon, especially when I remember you said in some of the interviews we had too, where you were on the floor and you would see people that would transition from one end of the hall to the other base.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so seeing that mentally and your family seeing that, and you, so if you could talk about that.
So with the ward, I don't even know if they had it set up like this on purpose, but after realizing it, it's like, it doesn't, it's kind of psychological, messes you up. So you'll start off in a smaller ward, right? I think it was like one, whatever the number was. And then as the seniority, your room gets bigger and bigger. But as everybody, time goes on, whoever's in this last biggest room, they pass away. They don't make it.
Transition.
They don't make it. So making it to the big room is great. You're seniority. You've been there the longest. You're here. But then that also means that that's the end.
Yeah.
You're either going to walk out on your legs or you're going to be zipped up in a body bag. And I was like, and so I just had so much drive to live.
Right.
I
But
did
that's a
not
good
want to
thing.
die,
Yeah.
at all. So that there was just like a constant reminder to myself that the last person that was there, they didn't make it, and I have to make it. I have to walk out.
What do you think it was that prepared you in your mind that says, I have to make it? What do you think it was that says that to you? Go ahead.
I've been so competitive my entire life, and I don't know if that did anything. I don't know, but I am so scared to die. That I love life so much, even more so since surviving cancer. But I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
You know, just because the doctor says you have this or something, whatever it is, doesn't mean I have to give up and die.
Right.
You know, I can still live life. And I did small little things that would make me like look forward to the next day. I went out and got a car.
There we go.
Okay, I wasn't supposed to do it. I was watching a video, and we're watching a commercial, and this Chrysler 300 rolled past on the TV, and I looked at my mom, and I was like, I want that car.
There you
She's
go.
like, you want it? I was like, I want it. We got up, we left the hospital, and we went down to, I don't even know, Silver Springs or somewhere in Maryland. We went down there, went to the dealership, and they didn't even want to sell me the car because I looked so bad, and I was getting pushed in a wheelchair. I was bald, my eyes were sunken in, and looked like a regular cancer patient, you know, and they probably thought it was ethically wrong.
Right.
But I talked to her name was like Betsy or something with a B, and I was telling her like, I need this car so I can live. I want something to look forward to. I was like, I will make these payments. You know, I need this car. They went and they talked to the manager. They talked to my mom. They sold the car to me.
Yeah.
I drove out with the car.
There you go.
I did, but I had so much. Like I needed things to motivate me to live, like to look forward to the next day. So that helped me.
Absolutely. That's I would absolutely say that's helpful, you know, to have a plan for the future, because you got to be there to execute it.
Gotta make those payments.
Make those payments, yes. A car payment will motivate you to do a lot of things.
Exactly.
Right? Gotta ride around in my car looking cool, right? Yep.
Exactly. One of the things that that you mentioned with some of the stuff that you sent over as we kind of discussed you coming here was your focus on the importance of behavioral and mental health, and how that affects your healing process. I could talk myself blue in the face, you know, about that, but people expect that from me, right? So absolutely, please tell, you know, the listeners about what behavioral and mental health is and why that's important, you know.
Okay, well, why it's important, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Alright, so the reason for anybody who has like survived a traumatic event, you need someone to speak to, you need people to support you, you need like a community of people who are going to be there for you, who are going to help process those thoughts and those feelings and what you're going through, because you're not the same person that you were, you know, when all that happened. And a lot of people think just because this event happens, cancer is over, like everything rewinds and it goes right back to where it started off. It's like, no, things change.
Yeah.
You're a different person now, you look different, you experience this whole new realm and this whole new world. You're a different person. Now you have to process that. You have to, you know, it's a whole different lingo. You need people to talk to. And when I was going through this treatment and, you know, doing all this, I would have never thought to speak to a therapist ever. I thought that was the most silly thing ever. But as I was going through the treatments, and you know, I was looking forward to the appointments, and I wanted to talk to her, and I wanted to see what she had to, you know, what she had to say, and like it was just feeding me, you know, like I don't know, spiritually or emotionally. Like it's a different way of like helping myself feel better and understand what was going on, because you know, I needed a different perspective than my mother or, you know, my nephew who can barely talk, you know. I needed somebody who knew what was going on and who could give me good advice. So having a strong support system, or even going to therapy in general, when you're going through these things and there's a transition, you need somebody to speak to, because life is different now. It's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
Ever. Ever, 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 ever.
Completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
What were the types of people that your support system was comprised of? You say your mom, of course, but who else was there?
I don't want to say like he was there or anything, but I was married at the time.
Okay.
Right? I don't see.
I was like, okay, I get it.
I
Okay.
Right? He was there, but he wasn't there. You know, it was just not good at all. So he was like physically there, but he wasn't like emotionally available at all. But my mom was there physically, emotionally, spiritually. Like she was like my hub, like my savior at the time. And then my nephew, he was there too. You know, that was also helping me and keep me kind of like fresh minded, playing with him and whatever. But so that was my sister. She was also there when she was there. She was crying. Remember?
Yeah, that's surprising.
That was crazy. She was there too. She ended up getting transferred over on I forgot what the compassionate reassignment. So she ended up being there. So my family was all there. Even my dog.
She was in the military as well.
She was in the military. She was also deployed. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that coming out of the military, there is the idea of post-traumatic stress, right?
Yes.
So there's that, not just for the fact that you were in a war zone, you know, but also, you know, as described, you know, your body was also a war zone. So coming through the treatments, I'm sure the military, you were out of the military after all of that. So what happened after you were out of the military and how they looked at and treated, you know, or if they did kind of look at that as a traumatic event in your life?
You know, I wasn't even able to claim that PTSD because I didn't even know that was allowed or that was a thing. Like when I think of PTSD before, it was like war and, you know, shooting people or some sort of like, I don't know, you know, like war, you know, just that's what I thought. I didn't think about a traumatic event that happened to somebody, you know, because that could be PTSD for anything. You
exactly.
could be
Most people
abused,
don't think that.
sexually abused. You could be, you know, emotionally, whatever, like whatever. You know, whatever that thing is.
People don't realize that if it has left a lasting negative impression upon you and your psyche and the way you think, then it is, you know, a traumatic event.
Yes, and I always think cancer's coming back, so I'm scared.
Wow.
I don't want it ever coming back, but I'm like, and I try to do everything in my power. Like, I eat good, I work out, you know, I got rid of the bad people in my life. I don't drink like that anymore. I'm not doing any of these bad things, so it's like, I don't want that ever again.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
And is it possible to get which I'm pretty sure it is, but is it possible to get other types of cancers even though you have had this? Wow.
Yes,
so
yes.
your risk
and you know,
is still...
Yes, it's even higher now. So I remember in the hospital, I don't even what we were talking about, but the doctor said to me that my risks of getting leukemia are higher now. And I started crying. I was like, what? My mom said, get out of here. Why would you tell her that? You know?
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to die of leukemia. Because everybody on the ward who had that, they all died. Nobody had the cancer I had. And I was the only one living. I was like, God, I don't want leukemia. It's like, everybody I know, you know, has that. They're like, they're going. Everyone's leaving. I'm like, oh my God. Please don't let me go out like that. Like, please. But, yeah, I had PTSD from cancer. Yep.
Coming out of the military and going through all of that, because, you know, a survival story isn't a survival story until you survive and until you start kind of living your life after that. So what have you been up to since then? Once you got out the military, what did that experience kind of motivate you to do with your life going forward?
It made me focus. Because I was like, life is so short. Like, 1 minute you're healthy, the next minute you're not, the next minute you're gone. So I was like, I got to do everything I can to get everything I want to do done right now. So I was in, like, kick mode. I was trying to get everything done. I was like, I got to get my master's, I got to get this book written, I got to open up a business. So I just had, like, little checklists of things. I was like, I got to get this stuff done. I don't have time to wait. So it made me really motivated.
Good.
I'm going to ask, so what was your undergrad in? What is your master's in?
All right, my undergrad is journalism and mass communications.
Well, there we go.
All right, and I got it from Ashford.
Okay.
years ago. And then I got a master's in writing from SCAD.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. So your book, tell folks, the people there.
And the people out here as well. These are the ones that.
Tell the people.
Everybody.
Yeah. Tell the folks where they can find your book.
Okay, you can go to my website. It's brandylbenson.com. Brandy with an I, not a Y.
All right, there we go.
There you go. Okay. And then the same thing for Instagram, Brandy L. Benson. Facebook, Brandy L. Benson.
Yeah, if you are listening, you can go to our Facebook page where the live video for this
Segment.
show tonight.
Yeah, there we
What's
go.
going on tonight? Right?
Segment.
What's going on with
I
this?
was like, I'm quiet.
I know. This is when y'all supposed to talk.
Oh, I don't know
No,
where
I'm
you
joking.
go.
Yeah, where you can find the live video for this show, and on there, Brandy is tagged in it, and also her social media pages that link to her business page and also her personal page where you can find her book. So I wanted to make sure we get that on there before, because we can talk. We have about 10 minutes left in the hour tonight. Yeah, so.
Well, it's not much of a question, maybe as much of a statement. And if you want to elaborate a little bit on it, because I kind of commend you to, and I think you brought up a good point that a part of that mental health or awareness and just happiness is also, like you said, the people you surround yourself by. You did mention. So what was that process like for maybe just decipher, like, okay, hey, here are the people who are, the best, and then kind of removing yourself from those other people, because that could pull you down too, even if you are like rising, but then it's like people over here just don't need to be in your life anymore around you.
Right.
Like, what was that like, or was it a big thing, or?
Oh, God.
I mean,
So-
what you can tell us.
Well, I am someone who likes to help everybody, and I always end up attracting broken people. And so I'd be friends with everybody who are trying to make it to whatever it is, and I'm always helping, and I'm helping, and no one's helping me, and no one is pouring back into me, or no one's, giving me good advice about stuff. So I'm like, I need to change who I'm hanging out with and start, being with people that I can speak to, or I can, when I have a question, they can answer it. So I just cut a lot of people loose.
Hey,
I
there
had
you
to,
go.
though, and it's not like it was a bad thing. I needed to go somewhere, and you can't take everybody,
Right.
and then the people you do take, I can't coddle you the whole way,
Yeah.
so
That's
that's
all.
why I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
lost
think
them all.
sometimes the people that you say because you attract broken people, it's not necessarily the fault isn't usually in them, right? In that they're broken, they want help, and just like anyone in the world, people that will help, you will gravitate to them.
Right.
What ends up being the issue in the helpers is that we give energy here, we give time here, we give help and resources there, we give money there, and then as we're moving it from here, us, to there, we're in a place of lag. And a lot of times the helper type person is not the person that says no often.
Right.
And then we end up turning that inwards, people that have things like various autoimmune deficiencies, with various things, and cancer. One of the mental aspects of cancer is that it is your body fighting against yourself. And I would say if everything starts with a thought, if you can kind of trace that back, that's my body fighting against myself. You could probably think about times where you're cussing yourself out because you did something good to help someone else.
Yeah.
And that's basically what the kind of the thinking behind letting go of people that you really you can help physically, but what it's doing is kind of like tearing you down, and you're not putting that focus and that attention on yourself, and then we turn all the anger that we have in this world towards ourselves.
Right.
Absolutely, it is big deal to start cutting off people that
Exactly.
just suck from you your life force, especially if you haven't had an opportunity to really cultivate a way to create that for yourself,
Yeah,
where you
be at
can
peace with yourself.
replenish.
And then I can tell, like, the people who I'm not friends with anymore, they're still in the same space 10 years later. And I'm like, how is that? How have you not grown?
Exactly.
How? You know?
That's interesting. My thought for the day was you haven't grown because you already think that you're grown. And that was I started a whole video about that today on Facebook. But that's another thing.
Did we miss? I missed that.
No, I didn't post it.
Oh.
It was one of those things that is just my thought that had been circling around in my mind today. And this is like the second time I've said it, so it's something to it, and I'm sure it's to me.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's just kind of how things work. We have about 5 minutes. I like to end the session or the interview tonight. I hate calling it an interview. That's why I'm like finding other words.
Just use
right?
what they say.
Right?
The conversation.
The chat.
Yeah.
We're asking our guests, a particular question. I say, given the opportunity to address as many people as the airways,
the people that
exactly, and all of these millions of
the
shares.
billions,
I always say, what is a message that you want to leave with them? What is some words of wisdom, that you want to leave with folks? Take this.
Well, I would say telling somebody that there is no such thing as perfect at all. That everybody has their flaws, and that we should be more inclusive with people who are different than everybody else, because it's great, And I only think this now because 10 years later, I'm missing a huge chunk out of my leg,
Yeah.
Now I realize and I understand that, and I'm like learning to love myself and understand myself and like accept this different person, because who I am now was way different than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
For sure, because it's not the same person. That person died in 2009. It's a whole new person, but being different and loving yourself and loving your scars and what you've been through, you should commend your body for surviving.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a wonderful message.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Period. No
Period.
no additions.
Exactly.
Brandy, thank you so very much. As we wind down, I want to say that I am blessed to have met you. Just sharing similar stories before the show start. I know that we are meant to meet.
Yes.
Right? So you're absolutely a friend, not just on Facebook or a friend
I'm stopping
on the
by.
show.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Next
that's
Friday,
Next
8 o'clock.
Friday, everybody, I'm gonna be here.
Are you gonna be here next Friday, 8 o'clock?
yes, I'll be here next Friday at 8 o'clock.
Coming with some food. Just kidding.
It might be a party. You want to be here next Friday at 8 o'clock, GQ Smith. But thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
For coming here and doing this with us in this way. This is, always a great opportunity to meet someone and to get their story out there, but also to be connected and to find what is our tribe or our community and things like that. So that's why I really dig doing this show, and I really appreciate you coming and doing this with us. Carmack, it's always a wonderful pleasure to have you in here with us. GQ, you ain't got no choice. At this point.
Next Friday, I may or may not be there. Grandmama was celebrating her birthday.
Yeah, I can't take you from Grandma. I ain't even trying to play.
Grandma there,
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 85,
85.
So.
Oh goodness,
Yeah, so
that's what's up.
She's
Sad
a
moment.
lot.
She's my only living grandparent that's still here, so I'm just kind of like
Yeah,
I gotta be there every waking minute ish.
Yes.
And then I'm her baby. She always grandmama baby. So I'm gonna be up in that thing.
Yeah, so.
I never like to call my other cousins and brother that too, but I'm like, no, I'm grandmama baby. I don't care about them.
Well,
Soapbox moment.
so that's exactly how it is. So,
Before we leave though, tell us where we can find your stuff one more time. We got time. Tell us where we can find your stuff.
All right. My website is brandylbenson.com. Brandy with an I.
There we go.
Perfect. And you guys, thank you so very much for hanging out with us tonight here on Let's See Who My Friends Are. We've had a wonderful time. We had a good conversation, and we'll be back here on next Friday at 8 o'clock. Recorded, Friday o'clock?
Friday o'clock.
Friday o'clock.
We had a good time. That's how I want to say you were very well behaved tonight, Ray.
Well,
You
I
were very well behaved today. You had a good, very well behaved. We ain't do what
She's
we
still
stopped.
watching. I'm not watching.
I don't know if she's watching. I'm just saying.
Miss Ayana says she will be here next week, and she
good.
is sending you happy birthday to your grandma.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so very much
she
for
has
our
my sweet talk,
Facebook
man.
watchers. We appreciate you. Go ahead and like the page and answer some of those questions on there. So, and then also shoot me a message. So come on the show and chit chat with us.
Do
you know.
have Messenger? Anyway, we're not going to go there. Say, let me turn
We'll
my
talk
mic
about
on.
that
Exactly. See,
afterwards.
I'm-
Okay, we about to tear up the people.
Sounds like you see
Let's
the
get
message
out of
anyway.
here. You know, how is this even?
That's been the Fit Hypnotist Ray Carr. We had Brandon Best. We had Carmack. This is yours truly, GQ Smooth. We will see you all next Friday.
That was like,
Yeah, that was fun.
Yay! Good stuff.
Is
Thank
it playing?
y'all. Huh?
I can't wait to
Is
see
playing?
it. I'm about to put it on my page.
Okay.
right now.
Right now.
Right
I don't know if
now.
it played the intro though.
Yes.
Did it play the intro?
Do you really?
I mean, it does need to do the
I didn't have
Space
my
ID.
crown on tonight. What
Is that
is?
the
Let's
chef?
do this over. Let's start over.
I was what?
Let's
Your head,
start over.
I'm serious. Like
Start over.
Like
Start
that,
it over.
Here's your crown up there.
What is not? Oh,
That's it right there. I was like, Ray with some hair.
Is that the chef theme song?
let me
It is
finish
the chef.
this.
That's what
Okay,
it
it's like
is.
somebody